Samantha, I was wondering if I could talk to you. I hope that you aren't too busy right now. Is now a good time for you? It's important, and I don't think it should wait. Good evening, Andrea. I have a moment. What exactly is the problem? By some chance, does this have anything to do with my husband? Oh, well, how did you know that's what this was about? It just so happens that I was around town today, and while I've been out and about for work, I passed by your home this evening. Oddly enough, I noticed my husband had stopped by your home. It's not difficult to identify Trevor's ridiculous truck. So, am I right? This is about Trevor, correct? Or would it be better for me to say that you've got some nerve to be bringing my husband along to your home in the middle of the day? But then you already know about us? How did you find out? I didn't think you were like that, Andrea. Going and getting yourself involved with someone else's husband. I thought that you had a little bit more respect for the sanctity of marriage. Or at least respect for your friends. So, you really do know then. I don't know what to say. Trevor and I, well, we love each other. There's nothing else I can say, really. But how long have you known about us? When did you figure it out? Love? Is that what you want to call it? I think the term that you were thinking of is dishonest, unfaithful, underhanded. How about backstabbing? You'll have to excuse me if I don't find your glorification of an adulterous relationship anything but sickening. You can save your theatrics when you're dealing with me, because this disgusting relationship doesn't have anything to do with love. How could you be so cruel and full of hate? And who are you to speak so spitefully about us? There are no circumstances that would make our love any less true than others. I don't know who you think you are. Your hateful rant is absolutely unforgivable, Samantha. Like you're one to talk about what's unforgivable. Please. It doesn't matter what endearing words you try to use to make this out to be any better than it actually is. What you and Trevor are doing is nothing more than a despicable fling. You know it's the truth. Stop trying to sugarcoat this. Someone that would stoop so low as to take someone else's spouse from them is undeniably the worst kind of human in existence. Do you not feel any guilt? Samantha, I understand that you feel angry. You have a right to be upset. But Trevor and I haven't been seeing each other just for some kind of thrill. We really, truly love each other. It's not like either of us wanted to end up in a difficult situation with all these other loose ends. That's just how life works sometimes. And now the two of us are really in love. Loose ends is putting it mildly. You're talking about my relationship with my husband. Maybe you think you love each other right now, but it's not going to last. I can promise you that. Will you hurry up and tell him that he needs to come home? I can't discuss any of this with Trevor if I don't have an opportunity to speak with him. So, in other words, that means that you're going to be discussing getting a divorce? There's a lot that Trevor and I need to talk about now. It's obviously a decision that him and I will need to make together. We have children, after all. Say no more. It sounds like it's already a done deal to me. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. I didn't expect that this would go over so well. Nothing is going to happen if I don't have a chance to discuss all of this with Trevor. Don't make me ask again, Andrea. Right. Of course. It's important to talk things over, I suppose. I guess that isn't unreasonable. Well, I will let him know that you need to finalize everything. I can't be kept waiting forever, though. While you're discussing the situation with him, don't forget that Trevor and I already love each other. There's no point in trying to prevent the inevitable. I told you not to keep me waiting so long. How much longer do you expect me to just sit around? I don't want to have to spend any more lonely nights without the man I love. I was generous to let you have some time to get all of these discussions over with. Aren't you finished already? It shouldn't take that long to get this divorce settled. Open your eyes and take a look at the situation. His feelings for you are already long gone. He doesn't want to be a part of a loveless marriage. If I can be completely honest, I think it's terrible of you to try and keep Trevor and I away from each other. Hello? Trevor? We need to talk. Now! This can't wait any longer. Stop playing games with me. Where did you run off to? You can't keep trying to avoid this conversation forever. Look, I already know about the cheating. I don't care how uncomfortable confrontation makes you feel. You need to get over it so we can talk about what we're going to do from now. It has already been 4 days. You need to discuss this with me now. How long do you plan on keeping this up? The sooner we get this over with, the sooner we can move on. I already know that you haven't gone to Andrea's house. I don't know where you've run off to, but can we please just take some time to talk about this already? Whether we get a divorce or not, you cheated. That can't be taken back now. You need to own up to this. If you keep dragging this process out, I will make sure that you're paying alimony and child support till the day you die. I'm sorry for not getting back to you. Please don't do that. Finally! It took you long enough, Trevor. What have you been doing? And where have you been? Where are you right now? I've been staying in a hotel downtown. Is that where you've been all this time? Well, yeah. More or less. And how exactly have you been covering the expenses of this extended stay of yours? About that. I guess I've been using some of your money to cover it. I was going to mention that when we spoke, but... Is that so? I should have guessed. I'll make sure to get a copy of the bill sent to me so I can add this to the divorce settlement. Wait. Hang on a moment, Samantha. You don't need to do that. I will not have this conversation over text, Trevor. You need to come home right now. Stop messing around and wasting my time. Samantha, I can explain. Please, give me a chance to tell you everything. Whatever it is that you need to explain, you can do it in person. I told you we aren't going to have this conversation over text. Come home now. If you aren't back here within the hour, I swear. Okay, I understand. I'll be home as soon as I can. Please, just give me a little bit of time. Andrea, are you busy? I have a few things I would like to ask you about if you have a moment to talk. Well, hello there. Hopefully you've been busy progressing things along, yes? Have you finished up what you need to for the divorce? It does seem like we'll be heading that direction at the moment. But before that, just based on my perspective on the situation, as well as everything Trevor has told me about your relationship, and he shared quite a bit, I need to ask you your opinion on some things, if you don't mind. It would be nice to hear a different perspective on things about everything between you and Trevor, and see if there aren't any inconsistencies. Are you willing to be open with me about this? Sure, it doesn't make a bit of difference to me. What exactly are you getting at, though? What do you want to talk about? I appreciate it. Anyway, first of all, from what I've been told, I'm under the impression that you and your husband aren't yet divorced, but aren't living together, correct? Because he's working an assignment abroad? I have to say, I wasn't expecting you to ask me about that. But that is correct. We are not divorced yet, but we are living separately. Once I knew that there wouldn't be any more bumps in the road between Trevor and I was planning on filing the divorce as soon as possible. I see. What about you and Trevor? How long has this been going on for? I think it's been almost half a year now. Maybe a little longer. I believe it was around 6 months ago when Trevor started bringing your children to and from kindergarten, right? Seeing each other more and more became such a delight, and it wasn't long before we fell in love with each other. And when the kindergarten was closed? You'd been seeing one another at your home, I presume. What about your children? Who was taking care of them when you were spending time together? I have been asking my in-laws to watch the children occasionally so that Trevor and I could have some time to ourselves. His mom doesn't like me much at all, and we've never been close to one another. Fortunately for Trevor and I, she loves her grandchildren very much. She's always willing to watch them for me. I can imagine that it's difficult and quite lonely when your only son is gone for business so frequently. She always jumps at the opportunity to have her grandchildren around, though not for my sake. I was just grateful to have more opportunities to spend time with Trevor. It would have been difficult to find time otherwise. It's relieving to hear that you at least had some decency, that you didn't get your children caught up in all of your antics. Still, I can't help but feel bad for your children and mother-in-law. Why on earth would you feel bad for her? I told you that she doesn't like me or treat me well. You are only looking at this from your narrow perspective. She is unknowingly involved with and assisting you in stabbing her son in the back while you're having an affair. Do you think she would be watching your children if she knew what was going on? Oh, please. You're one to talk about being narrow-minded. You've got it all wrong. If I may give you another point of view on the situation, I see this as nothing but a positive for her. I want to make sure that my divorce goes as smoothly as possible. I will make sure that Jim gets custody of the kids. In a way, I'm doing Jim and his mother a favor. She will be able to spend as much time as she wants with her grandchildren. She won't have to deal with me anymore, too. Another major plus for that awful woman. I can't stress enough how absolutely unreasonable everything that you are saying is. In other words, it sounds like you are more than happy to give up custody of your children and leaving all of the responsibility to your husband. Of course. I wouldn't want it to go any other way. I would like to have children with Trevor someday. It'll be like a completely fresh start for the both of us. I am not particularly fond of the thought of having my children from my previous marriage growing up together with the new family that I want to start with Trevor. I mean, don't you think that it would be a bit uncomfortable? Is that really how you feel? At this point, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I appreciate your honesty about everything. It doesn't seem like you've been dishonest with me based on what I've heard from Trevor. There's absolutely no reason for me to be dishonest about our relationship at this point. I've been telling you the truth. We are really, truly in love with one another. There's nothing else to it. You may have been honest with me, but whether or not whatever there is between you and Trevor is genuine remains to be seen. None of it matters to me anyway. All I care about is making sure I have all the details I need to get a clear picture of this whole mess. Give me a break, Samantha. I've been direct with you about everything, haven't I? I don't understand why you won't stop talking about Trevor and I in such an awful way. Trevor and I just want to be happy together. Is that so much to ask? Don't we deserve it as much as anyone else? There are some things that you and I will never see eye to eye on, Andrea. Let's just drop it, all right? If I have to hear any more about how in love you think you are, then I think I'm going to lose my dinner. You aren't as funny as you think you are. You can be so hateful sometimes, Samantha. Anyway, that's enough of that then. I'll be going to see a lawyer in the next couple of days. I will keep you filled in. A lawyer? What do you need a lawyer for? You keep saying that you don't want this divorce to take any longer than it needs to, right? A lawyer will make things go a lot more smoothly and quickly when it comes to handling alimony and our joint assets. Ah, I see. Well, when you put it that way, I suppose it does make sense and would be much faster. Alimony won't be any issue, of course. I'm sure you already know that it won't be any problem for Trevor to handle. That goes without saying. Is that so? Well, that's comforting to hear. Well then, I'll be sending documents to finalize the divorce over to Trevor as soon as the details are figured out. In the meantime, he most certainly isn't going to be staying here. What do you mean? Why wouldn't he be? Because we're getting divorced? I don't want or need him around now that I've had my opportunity to speak with him about everything. So there shouldn't be any problems with me sending the documents to your address then, if he can stay with you. But, I mean, you aren't leaving the house? He is? That doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. The house is mine. All of the documentation for the home is in my name. Oh, I see. I had no idea that's how the two of you had arranged things. Well, that shouldn't be an issue. When Trevor and I come together in marriage, our belongings will become one another's all the same. Isn't that nice? Keep an eye on the mail to get the documents to Trevor as soon as possible. Oh, Samantha, I couldn't possibly thank you enough for everything. Thank you so much for making this process so smooth. It almost feels like a dream. I never would have imagined that all these pesky divorce settlements could be handled so quickly, and all thanks to you. This couldn't have turned out any better. My ex-husband has full custody of our children, And on top of that, Trevor said he would be able to pay the child support. It won't be long before we'll be applying for our marriage certificate. I just can't wait to start my new life with Trevor. Thank you so much, Samantha. I really do owe it all to you. Samantha, stop what you're doing right now. This is important. I have wonderful news to share with you. Whatever you're doing will have to wait. It's finally official, and I couldn't be happier. Trevor and I are finally husband and wife. Even though we have been living together for 3 months already, but it really just didn't feel the same knowing that we still weren't officially husband and wife. All of our waiting has finally paid off, though. Thank you for going through all of the trouble to go out of your way to get in touch with me to update me about your situation. I didn't want you to be out of the loop. You've been so involved in the whole process. It wouldn't be right to not keep you updated. It's nice to know that all of the effort wasn't for nothing. I do have something I'd like to ask you about, though. Oh? What exactly did you want to know? Do you mind if I ask where you and Trevor are living currently? We're living in my condominium together. My ex took our children and moved into a new place, so Trevor and I have taken the condo. Really? Is that so? We've been enjoying spending lots of time together without any interruptions. It really has been wonderful, especially now that we are newlyweds. Both Trevor and I have been disowned by our families, but honestly, it doesn't matter one bit to me. The only thing that matters is that I can be with Trevor. Did you ask your ex to move out of the condo, or did he volunteer to do that of his own accord? Isn't the condo being leased in his name and not yours? How exactly is that working out? Surely he would have canceled the lease. When exactly are you moving out and into your own place? I assume Trevor hasn't gotten anything if he's been living there with you. Oh, well, about that. Or did you have the condo changed over to be in your name? Had you not thought about any of this? I guess I hadn't thought about it. Well, I guess now that you mention it, I can't really remember having discussed it with my ex. I don't think we did anything in terms of documentation for our home. It sounds like you don't know anything about your living situation, or even have a backup plan. Don't you think you should be figuring that out? Or discussing something with your landlord to get it sorted out? Oh gosh. I can't believe I overlooked all of this. I was so caught up in enjoying my time with Trevor. I need to discuss this with him as soon as possible. We might need to find a new place to start our family together. Maybe we will be able to purchase our own high-rise condo downtown. It would be such a beautiful place for a family. I'm sure you've already made up your mind with what you want to do anyway. Oh, you know me so well. That reminds me. There is one last thing that I wanted to mention to you. What else did you want to know about? Feel free to ask. Why exactly did you get involved with Trevor to begin with? Be honest with me, because I don't think you have been. I think you left out some important details last time we talked to each other. What do you mean? Do you think I've been lying to you? Are you accusing me of having some kind of ulterior motive? If so, you've got it all wrong, Samantha. It really doesn't make a bit of difference to me that Trevor is making so much money. I mean, sure, it's nice that he is making 6 figures a year, but I would love him no matter what. 6 figures? It's true love. You shouldn't doubt me so much. The money really doesn't matter to me one bit. It honestly barely had any influence on me at all. Sure, it is lovely to have a man that makes so much money, but it's not like I went out of my way to find a man that is making over $100,000 a year. That would be just awful of me. It's only a coincidence that the man I fell in love with is so wealthy. Andrea, I think that maybe there is some misunderstanding. Trevor doesn't make nearly 6 figures a year. It's my career that had been bringing in most of our income throughout our marriage. What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how you came under the notion that Trevor was the one making all of our money, but it simply isn't true. Maybe you misunderstood something that Trevor told you? I really don't know what led you to believe that he is rich. What in the world are you talking about? How could you be making all of the money? You are only working part-time, right? That doesn't make any sense at all. I do occasionally work a part-time job here and there, but that isn't where I have been making all of my income. I really have only been doing it to get out of the house occasionally and keep myself busy. My parents work in real estate, and I have been too. We do property and asset management. It's not very involved or time-consuming, so I try to keep myself busy with other things. But it is where all of my income is from. Your family is in real estate? But what about Trevor? Is he not involved in this business at all? No, he isn't involved in the slightest. Actually, now that we're on the topic, I don't think that he is even employed right now. How could he be unemployed? I believe that the company Trevor has been working for went totally bankrupt several months ago. Naturally, he was let go from his position. He had been saying that he wanted to use the opportunity to take up a new job where he could work mostly from home. That freelance job was barely paying any money at all, though. Fortunately for the both of us, I made enough to cover anything necessary to live comfortably. Since his new job allowed him to be at home throughout the week, we'd agreed that Trevor could take up some of the housework. Also, things like taking the children to and from school. It wasn't a terrible situation, even though he wasn't making as much money as he did at his previous job. But since he had been bringing the children to and from school, that's when you and Trevor started seeing one another. Rather than doing what he was supposed to and doing work from home, he ended up just wasting his time with another woman. Since he had been falling behind on his work, he lost that job too and hadn't been making any money at all. I can't believe it. But does that mean that Trevor still isn't working now? There's no way he could have gone this long without being employed. Well, if the situation hasn't changed since he started seeing you, I imagine that would be the case. I haven't been in touch with him since we finished the divorce, so I honestly don't have a clue. This can't be real. There's no way that he could be unemployed. How could he have covered all of the costs from the divorce? How could he be paying child support if he isn't working? Like I said, I haven't been in touch with him, Andrea. I honestly don't have a clue where he could have come up with money for any of that. If I had to guess, he probably took out a loan or borrowed the money from somewhere. That seems like the most plausible answer. He's in debt? It probably wasn't a good idea for him to let his work fall by the wayside while he was out having a good time, don't you think? Then he lied to me. He lied about making $130,000 a year. Why would he do that? I don't know whether or not he lied. It's possible you misunderstood him as well. Who knows? How could this be happening? That's something that only you can answer. While Trevor and I were filing our divorce, this had actually come up in one of our conversations. Trevor said that a little bit before the two of you started seeing one another, you had asked him about his yearly income. That's right. That's absolutely right. I remember having that conversation with him. I swear he told me he was making around $130,000 annually. I believe he told me that when you had asked about finances, he answered with our household income, rather than his own specific salary. Maybe you took that answer and interpreted it how you wanted? Household income! He had only just begun working his new job from home, and like I said before, he was barely making any money at all compared to what I was. Maybe that was the only appropriate answer he felt that he could give at the time. But none of this matters to you anyway, right? You said so yourself. The money didn't really matter to you one way or the other. Right. I did say that, didn't I? You said it's true love, and that money was never a part of your decision. So everything is all right. You weren't lying, were you? Well, even if he isn't rich or employed, he's still the man that you claim to love so much. But this isn't a matter of not having much money. He is unemployed. And in debt? I had no idea that this was the kind of situation he was in. Well, it seems that is your reality now. I'm sure the two of you will be able to work together to pay off all of that pesky debt. The two of you will be able to save up to be rich in no time. I can't believe this is happening. This is not at all what I expected. Through miscommunication, or pure ignorance, Andrea was fully under the impression that Trevor was making over $130,000 a year. The bottom line is that with child support payments, divorce settlements, and whatever debt that he accrued in his time unemployed, Trevor and Andrea would not be able to cover all of the costs. As for the source of Trevor's debt, I've heard that he asked to borrow money from a friend that had a lot of investments in the stock market. Andrea turned her greedy gaze towards Trevor's wealthy friend and set her sights on a new goal. However, that dream was crushed within seconds. It didn't take long for Trevor to hear from his friend about what Andrea was doing, and not long after, the two were divorced. The settlement from Trevor and Andrea's divorce left her to deal with many of her newfound expenses alone. She ended up being in more debt than she ever could have imagined. Andrea tried to get back with her former husband, Jim, and Trevor tried to reconcile things with me. However, both Jim and I refused to entertain the thought. Now both Andrea and Trevor are trying to manage their new, lonely lives while paying off debts and settlements. The old adage still rings true to this day. The grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.
My house is infested. I have 2 big leeches living with me. How unfortunate. Don't you think so, Flora?
2 leeches?
Are you referring to me and Cora? Who else am I referring to? Thanks to my son, you live here rent-free and you eat here free of charge, too. You're basically freeloaders. How lucky for you. I'm out having some coffee with friends and we got on the topic of our in-laws. They made me realize how easy you've got it.
I have to disagree. I go to work and then get called a leech by my mother-in-law. Please don't call me that, by the way. It isn't right.
Oh my, aren't you a feisty one? You were the one that busted your way into my house, pregnant with that ugly spawn of yours. After that thing was born, all you do is stay at home and play with it without doing any real work. What would you call that sort of lifestyle? You're just taking advantage of me. Do you think you're a queen bee and I'm just a worker?
Play? I look after my child while also working at home.
And I also do the housework. Work? I don't know what sort of lie you're trying to spin there. All you do is play around using my son's money. What an audacious little thing you are to try and claim otherwise.
If you would only look after Cora, then I would be able to work more.
I hope you're joking, but that's not even funny. What a bad sense of humor you have.
What? But it's true.
You want me to look after that ugly spawn of yours? It is seriously the ugliest baby I've ever seen. I honestly doubt that that thing is even Larry's child. You were probably knocked up by some other guy that you met on the wrong side of town. Ugh, just the thought of that makes me sick.
Why do you have to say things like that? You're being so rude. What did I ever do to you? And believe me, if Larry wasn't the father, I wouldn't be here. And if I wasn't here, then you two would be in a very tight spot.
Tight spot? Just because you're not here? My, don't you think highly of yourself? I never wanted you to be here in the first place. Same with that spawn of yours, too. You need to stop wallowing in denial and just accept that this is how things are. Cora is your grandchild, but you shouldn't be harping on us. You need to talk to Larry as well. He's the one that needs to change. Excuse me. I know you're not going to start criticizing my precious Larry now. Now who's being rude?
He's already a full-grown adult. He's 30. I don't think it's appropriate to call him your precious anymore.
He's my son. I can call him whatever I want. You stay out of it. You didn't give birth to a boy, so you can't understand. A boy is the best thing that you can have. They are precious, and they will always be your child.
Only to you. As far as everyone else is concerned, he is an able-bodied citizen. At the very least, he needs to learn how to take care of himself. Right now, he can hardly even dress himself.
So what? His workplace doesn't have a dress code. He can wear whatever he wants. If his workplace doesn't say anything, then who are you to give your opinion?
That's what you think.
You. Is that your attitude? Larry and I took you in, and this is how you treat us. Karma is going to come back and get you. Mark my words. You'll get what you deserve. Don't come crying to me when something bad happens to you. I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, this conversation is going nowhere. We should just stop. It's time for Cora's bath anyway.
Is this Flora?
Yes, it is. And who is this?
My name is Melania.
Sorry, but I don't know any Melanias.
I'm so sorry.
What? Why are you apologizing?
I've been dating Larry. I'm so sorry.
You've been dating my husband? You're joking.
It's true. But I swear I didn't know that he had a wife and child. I would never have dated him if I knew.
Really now? Then, what do you want with me? Are you going to tell me to break up with him?
Of course I am. But that's not why I contacted you. I just wanted to apologize.
Well, that's not fair.
What do you mean by fair?
So you're just apologizing because you feel guilty about what you did. Did you think that would absolve you of everything?
I really am sorry. I never wanted to cheat. My father, he cheated on my mother multiple times when I was a child. I saw how my mother suffered. That's why when I found out that Larry was married, I just couldn't stay silent. I also want to warn you. Larry has been seeing other women as well. I'm not the only one.
What? Other women?
Yes! I was shocked too. I'm not his only girlfriend. I know this might be hard to hear, but I had to tell you.
Are you telling the truth? How do I know you're not just lying to me to scare me off so that you can be with him?
That's not what I'm trying to do. I have proof. That man is a pig. Even though you're his wife, it honestly feels like he's been cheating on me as well. And he's been cheating on both of us with others. I know that it really isn't my place to tell you all this, but I just couldn't let it keep happening.
Thank you for letting me know, I guess. I spent all day taking care of my child, so I don't have time to get out of the house. I didn't even suspect that he was cheating on me.
I really am so sorry. I have always been aware of how much pain my father caused me and my mother. I never wanted to be a part of what he did to us. But somehow, I grew up to be involved in something just like that. I feel like I'm just as bad as he was. I can't express how truly and deeply sorry I really am.
You said that your name is Melania?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you for telling me the truth. For what it's worth, I do believe that your apology is genuine.
Thank you so much. Please let me extend my apologies to your child as well. I never wanted to hurt her, and I never wanted any child to go through what I went through.
If you have any photographic evidence, may I have it? I will forgive you if you give those pictures to me.
Yes, of course. I'll give them all to you.
Thank you for cooperating with me. I forgive you, so please stop torturing yourself over this. You seem like a good girl, and I know that you can find a much better man than a horrible pig like my husband. Free yourself from that relationship, and I hope that you can find a proper man. I wish you all the best.
Thank you for saying that. Again, I'm really sorry.
I'm done having leeches like you in my house and taking up my space. Hurry up and pack your things. Get out right now. What? Are you serious right now? I don't need you or your spawn in my life. All I need is my son. We are fine without you. I've already filed for divorce, so you need to get out. Don't forget to take your spawn with you. Your leeching days are over. Leeching? Your son is the only one who is leeching off of people. I am not interested in any more of your slander against my son. Just get out! And what do you mean you filed for divorce? How could you possibly have done that? I found a divorce petition earlier today. Already signed. I just took the liberty of dropping it off for you. Ah, you stole my thunder. I was looking forward to the day when I can file for divorce. Larry and I signed those papers way back along with our marriage certificate. We only got married because I got pregnant. I wanted to make sure that I had an escape route if things didn't work out, so as part of our prenup, I had him sign divorce papers as well. That was the only way I was going to marry him. Why on earth would you have wanted to do that? Why would you even want to divorce my beautiful son?
Why? That's such an easy answer. It's because he's a good-for-nothing leech. If he wanted to divorce me, he wouldn't be able to live the cushiony life that he has now. He tried his best to tie me down.
What are you even talking about? He supports you and your little brat.
You do know that he still hasn't given up on his music, right?
That's just a hobby. So he plays a bit of music when he has some free time. What about it? That doesn't make him a bad person, and it's not a reason why you should call him a leech.
Oh, but you are so sadly mistaken. He is still hoping to make it big and live off of his music.
What? Live off of his music? What about his job? He leaves the house every day to go to work, doesn't he?
He doesn't. When he goes out every morning, he isn't going to work at some office. He's actually going to band rehearsals. You've seen his rocker outfits, right? No job would ever allow him to dress like that. So did you really think that he was going to some office dressed like that?
Why not? Companies these days aren't as stiff as they used to be. People can wear whatever they want. But you're saying that he isn't working. That can't be true.
Maybe you'll believe me when I tell you how much he makes. He only brings home about $200 a month. And that would be considered a good month.
What? Only $200 a month?
Why, yes. He does live gigs on Friday nights. The rest of the week is spent rehearsing. Oh, and recently he started his own YouTube channel. After paying studio rental fees and other things, he's only left with $200.
It might be a small amount, but he is still getting paid. You need to apologize for calling him a leech.
That's it? That's what you chose to focus on? Don't you have anything else to say about him? About the way he is living?
Do you need to know what the definition of a leech is? A leech is a person that doesn't even contribute a single penny to the household, and they rely on others to live. But that isn't my son. He's contributing something, so he isn't a leech. Larry is out there working hard and trying to make his dream come true. That's admirable. He's even able to bring money home while doing it.
He might be bringing that money inside the house, but it's definitely not going towards anything for the family.
What is he doing with it then?
He uses that money to pay for cigarettes instead. He said that he has to look like a rocker and act like a rocker. He claims that rockers have to smoke and that they can't vape because that isn't the rock life. The price of cigarettes has gone up every year. I'm sure you're aware of his smoking habits. He smokes a pack a day and he doesn't care where he does it. Even when Cora is in the same room as him, he still lights up.
I thought he only did that because his job causes him stress. But a lot of people smoke.
Nope. He only does it to look and act cool. He basically smokes the little money that he makes away. He's really good for nothing. But it really doesn't matter anymore because I don't have to deal with him from now on. He's not my problem anymore. I was only holding everything in for the sake of our daughter. But thanks to you, I don't have to do that anymore either.
Now wait a minute.
Thank you so much, Gina. You saved me. You talked a lot of smack about me, but at the very end, you did me a huge favor. Thank you. You saved me from going through all the trouble myself. You're going to be taking over the bill payments, right? Someone will need to pay the electric bill, the taxes, the phone bill, and buy all the food. Oh, and the rent, of course. You're going to be doing that from now on, right?
You were the one who has been paying all that?
Yes. Who else? Your son definitely doesn't make enough money to pay any of those. He doesn't have any money at all. I'm actually quite a successful writer. All I need to do is write articles during my free time and I can make $1,000 a week.
$1,000 a week?
Actually, I was in a pickle. I already achieved financial independence and my love for Larry had burned out a long time ago. I was going to file for divorce soon. I went to the shelf where I had put the divorce papers but was shocked when I couldn't find them there. I thought I must have misplaced the envelope somewhere. Where did you find them?
They were underneath my mattress. I was changing my sheets and they just fell out like a little gift from God.
Oh, I see. Larry didn't want me to get a divorce, so he must have hidden them in your room. So not only did you find the papers for me, but you handed them over to the courthouse as well. Thank you very much for doing that. Now I will finally be able to be free.
Wait. Just wait a second. Do you really intend on throwing my son away like that?
Yes, in a heartbeat. It might take a while for the divorce to be granted, but I don't see the reason why I should stay here any longer. My job here is done. Enjoy your life with your precious son. By the way, Larry has a gig this weekend, so he won't be back until tomorrow afternoon. In the meantime, I'll be gathering my things and getting out of here by tonight.
No, you can't do that. Just listen to me for a second, Flora. I'm sorry for saying all those horrible things to you. I had no idea what was going on. So could you please forgive me?
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to forgive you.
What? But I asked really nicely. I'm your mother-in-law, and I'm asking for forgiveness. How can you be so cold?
Because it's too late. And by the way, I am going to be coming at him hard in the divorce proceedings. I expect the alimony to be substantial. Like $50,000 substantial. We're thinking of getting it up front as well. With his lifestyle, there's no guarantee that he'll be able to pay monthly.
$50,000? Are you crazy?
You called me a leech all the while Larry was cheating on me with several women. I had to suffer from that. And on top of that, I was paying for everything. I was carrying a very heavy burden. My lawyer said that I can ask for pain and suffering compensation.
Lawyer? You talked to a lawyer already?
Of course. I couldn't find the divorce papers, so I had to contact a lawyer to help draw another one up. But again, thanks to you, you found the papers. I don't have to pay the lawyer for document fees. You saved me again.
Oh my goodness. What have I done? Larry is going to be so mad when he finds out that I was the one that handed in the papers. I hate it when he gets mad. I can't get through to him once he has flown off the handle. You know how he gets when he's angry.
Oh, I definitely know. There's no stopping him when he gets angry. He just needs to burn himself out. I have been on the receiving end of his anger while you just go hide in your room. But the only way to calm him down a bit is with money.
Money? That's how you got him to stop his rampage?
Yes, there's no other way that would work.
How much does it cost?
Do you have any idea how much it cost for him to do his gigs? He needs to pay for transportation as well as clothes. It costs quite a bit, so my best advice for you is to not get him angry.
But I don't have any money. I don't have an income. I just live off of my pension.
Oh, and I haven't even thought about child support yet. I deserve that as well. Actually, Cora deserves that. And it's not like he's any kind of good influence, so I think she'll be much better off with the money than with him around.
How can you even say something like that? You're so cold. You're evil. Don't you have any empathy at all?
Don't talk to me about empathy. You have been exploiting me ever since I got together with Larry. You haven't even shown me an inch of kindness since the beginning. This is karma coming back to get you. You reap what you sow. In the end, Gina got what she wanted. She was able to live alone with her son. She soon found out that Larry burned through a lot more money than she could have ever imagined. Gina had no choice but to come out of retirement to help pay for their expenses. She found herself a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. She thought that she would be able to live a quiet lifestyle after retirement, but thanks to her son, her dream was destroyed. Well, she did bring this upon herself by spoiling Larry the way she did. She will be paying that mistake for the rest of her life. As for me, I saw what an overly doting mother can do to a child, so I hope that I can find the right balance between love and firm guidance with my own daughter. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.
This is an emergency. Margaret, are you listening? This is really an emergency. My goodness, where are you? Linda, what's wrong? Did something happen? I'm at home now. Finally! Why didn't you respond right away? Anyways, you're at home, then you must be free. You know the new shopping mall that just opened up downtown? Meet me there ASAP. I'm already here, so please get here right away. What? You want me to go there right now? Yes, right now. Didn't you hear what I said? I told you this was an emergency, so I need you here now. I'm sorry, but I'm in the middle of doing something right now. I'm making a new smock to use at work, and I just sat down with my sewing machine. A smock? Yes, the one I was using before started to tear. And the kids in my class, they just kept pulling at the threads, so now there's this big hole in it. You know how mischievous preschoolers can be. Anyways, the only time I have to work on things like this is when I have the day off. And there's a whole bunch of other errands I was planning to take care of today. So I'm sorry, but as much as I appreciate your invitation, I won't be able to join you today. What? That's your excuse for not coming today? A single smock. Can't you just buy a new one? They're only, what, like $10, $20? That's true, but you're not saying that you can't afford it, are you? That's not what I'm saying. But I have leftover fabric at home, so I want to use that up. And besides, if it's something I can make by hand, that's what I usually do. You know, when your mother-in-law goes out of her way to invite you to go shopping, you should be more than happy to accept that invitation. As a matter of fact, you're not supposed to turn the invitation down. That's your basic duty as a proper daughter-in-law. I'm really sorry. I don't know what else to say. Then stop complaining and get your lazy self over here. Help me with some of my errands. I'm really in a terrible bind right now, and I need your help right away. Did something happen? You'll see when you get here. Okay, you're the only one I can ask. Well, then fine. Let me get ready and I'll head out right away. Just get here as quickly as you can. I'll be waiting in the coffee shop. It's just to your right as soon as you enter the building on the first floor. I want you to get here before I finish my first cup of coffee. See you soon. Didn't you have so much fun today? Let's have another outing like that again soon. Linda, I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm going shopping with you next time. What? Why? I'm pretty sure you know why. What was the deal with what happened today? You asked me to meet you because there was an emergency. So I dropped what I was doing and rushed to where you were. But then the emergency was that you had too many shopping bags and you couldn't carry it all. And not only did I have to carry all of your shopping bags, but your friends as well. Oh, Violet says thank you for that, by the way. I met her recently at one of my lunch parties. Isn't she such a beautiful woman, so classy too? We were just talking about how much fun we had today. And because you were there to help us with our bags, we didn't get so worn out. We're not as young as we used to be, you know. So thank you for coming to join us. I'm sorry, Linda, but I'm not your butler or anything. And I didn't rush there just to carry your bags. Thanks to you, I didn't have time to finish any of the work I was planning to complete today. So I hope that you never call me out like that ever again. Margaret, are you actually being serious? Yes, I am. What you're saying, in other words, is that I should never rely on you when I need help? Isn't that a terrible thing to say to your mother-in-law? I'm not saying that you shouldn't rely on me, but I would appreciate it if, from now on, you don't make me accompany you like today. There was no reason for me to be there other than to carry your bags around all day. Like I said, I had a list of errands that needed to be done myself. Oh, I see. I bet you're just mad about that incident. What incident? You know that thing I said to Violet about you? That's because you were raised by a single mother. You're constantly worrying about money. Oh, that. Yes, I heard you mentioning that to your friend. I'm sorry if that made you feel uncomfortable. I just have the tendency to blurt out what comes to my mind. But everything I said is true, so you don't mind now, do you? Besides, Violet was so sympathetic to your upbringing. Did you see how concerned she looked? You must have secretly been happy that she felt so bad about your poor childhood. Not even the slightest bit. Why would I be happy that she sympathized with me? Oh, is that so? I just wasn't sure, since I've never been in a situation where I needed anyone to sympathize with my misfortune. But she handed you some money before she left. Was it supposed to be a tip for your services, or some kind of charity? It was the first time I've ever seen anyone being given a handout like that. I almost burst out laughing. You know I returned that money right away. You watched me hand it back to her. I have no need for it. Oh, Margaret, you don't need to be ashamed about asking for help. You really shouldn't put up such a brave front all the time. Who's to say that Hunter won't leave you one day for being so hard-headed? Especially since you're already a disappointment as a daughter-in-law as it stands. Thank you, Linda, for your much unwarranted advice. I'll try to keep that in mind. But in the meantime, I have to finish up my work, so I'll be going now. I don't know how you manage to work so constantly, but I guess you just have no choice if you want to afford a comfortable lifestyle. But if you get really desperate, you can start collecting empty cans and bottles for extra money. I heard that you can get a 10-cent refund on each one. Really? Oh, but you should start thinking about having children soon too. And if you have any questions about raising proper children, you can always ask me for advice. I'm just worried because you didn't have a father growing up, so you probably weren't able to have a normal childhood. Wow, thank you so much for your concern. Sure, my mother was the one who raised me single-handedly since I was a girl, but she did everything she could to make sure that I was well provided for. So I never felt like I was missing out on anything just because I didn't have a father. And even as an adult, I've never felt ashamed or embarrassed about my upbringing. My mother was always confident and never backed down from people who tried to discourage her. And I always wanted to grow up into a woman with even half the confidence that she had. You're much more stubborn than confident, in my opinion. Anyways, there's really no point in talking about money to someone who's never had enough of it, right? But if you're really struggling financially, you just let me know, okay? I can help you out to some degree. And you can pay me back, slowly, of course, with interest.
Maggie, did something happen yesterday?
Why?
I know you had the day off yesterday, but when I came home from work, you seemed kind of depressed, and you went straight to bed saying you were really tired. Did I do something to make you mad?
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with you. I just had a long day and I really was just tired. I'm sorry if I made it seem like I was mad.
Oh, okay. I know that being a preschool teacher must be a lot of work. If you're too busy, you don't have to cook dinner every night. I don't want to put such a burden on you. I can cook for the two of us if I get home from work early enough. Or we can just get takeout or go out to eat.
Thanks, you're always so thoughtful. I'm so lucky to have such a kind husband.
I think it's pretty normal to help each other out, but I'm glad you feel that way about me. You know how we started dating right before we graduated college, and then we got married within the year?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Are you saying that you regret getting married so soon?
No, that's not what I'm saying, and I definitely don't regret getting married. I was just trying to say that we probably still have a lot to learn about each other. If there's something you want me to do or don't want me to do, I want you to be able to tell me all of that without hesitating. I wouldn't say I'm the most reliable person out there, but I want to do everything I can to support you.
That's not true. You already do more than enough for me. I have absolutely nothing to complain about. Thank you. I'm really happy with how things are now, even though we're always so busy. I love spending time with you, and I couldn't have asked for a better husband.
Really? I'm really glad you feel that way.
Of course, I'm really grateful for everything that you do. But if there's anything you want to say, don't hesitate to tell me either, okay?
Okay, sure. I just wanted to tell you that and make sure you were okay. Sorry to bother you in the middle of work.
No worries. Thanks for thinking of me. And I'm sorry, too, that you have to worry about me all the time.
Of course I'm gonna worry. It's my duty as your husband to make sure that you keep smiling every day. I'll try to be home early today. Let's watch a movie together or something. Have a good day, my love.
Margaret, are you there? Why aren't you answering? You know that new fancy-looking Chinese restaurant that just opened? I'm here right now and thought it would be nice to invite you out for lunch. Oh, I'm sorry I missed your call.
But I already have plans for today, so I'm afraid I won't be able to join you.
Plans? What plans do you have this time? Is there more fabric that you need to use up?
No, this time it's something else.
Anyways, I'm with my friends right now, and I was just talking to them about you. I was telling them how I'm so happy that Hunter got married young, so there's plenty of time for grandchildren. But that I should have asked about his partner's pedigree, so I could have made sure that her upbringing was suitable enough to carry our family name.
Excuse me? Pedigree. Are you saying there's something wrong with my lineage?
Well, yes, because isn't it true? I mean, you don't know who your father is, right? So what does that say about the kind of woman your mother is? And in fact, you're poor as a church mouse, isn't that right?
You think I'm poor?
Yes, exactly. And that's too bad. That's no way to live your life. What's the point of working so hard if you're unable to spend the money when and how you want? You even spend your days off working and taking care of errands. Why don't you try and do something enjoyable for yourself once in a while? Or are you in that bad of a financial situation that you can't even afford a little break? Oh, you poor thing. It must be so tough having no parents and no money.
Then in my case, I guess it's no parents, but with money.
What?
You heard me, Mom. I've decided to cut all ties with you completely, as of right now.
Wait, Hunter, is that you?
That's right. Mom, I can't believe the things you've been saying to Maggie all this time behind my back. I never knew you were such an evil coward.
No, you've got this all wrong. Margaret and I are actually really close with each other. She's like a real daughter to me. But she's just been in such a terrible mood since this morning.
Right. Like I'm really gonna believe your lies. I've already seen all the past messages you've sent her. So stop trying to make yourself look like a bigger fool than you already are. I really can't believe you would do such a horrible thing. I thought I made it very clear that I didn't want you to be in touch directly with Maggie, especially since we're both still trying to figure out married life together. And I didn't want to add any extra burden on her emotionally.
Now who's acting like a coward here? I just can't believe the nerve of that girl.
Huh?
The moment she realized she's in a bad position, she just goes crying to her husband. Doesn't she have any pride as a wife, or even as a woman? You know, if it were me, I would do what I can to resolve any problems on my own. Especially if these problems were a direct result of the way I was behaving. Hunter, that girl is too weak. How is she supposed to support you from now on if she's not willing to toughen up? Maybe you should replace her with a better wife. It's not too late to start over, you know.
That's enough, you evil witch.
Excuse me?
You know that's exactly what you are. All the things you said about her, you regret not looking into her lineage? And treating her like a dog, expecting her to answer to your beck and call? If that's not already enough to call you a witch, you want me to replace her? Maggie is not an object, and she is not weak.
Well, but she's really antisocial. Don't you think it's a big problem if your wife doesn't make the effort to get along with your own mother? And what about the way she's acting now? She just hands you the phone so you can take care of her problems because she's too weak to face them herself. It just seems like she's trying to avoid her duties as your wife.
Actually, she didn't just hand me her phone, and I probably would have never found out that anything was going on because she never said anything to me. But today, as we're getting ready to head out, she was taking so long to come out of the bedroom. So I went to check on her. She was just sitting on the edge of the bed, her eyes all red from crying. I basically had to force it out of her that you were the one that was making her so sad. I just can't believe she kept all of this to herself this whole time. You have no idea how much you hurt her. She's absolutely crushed because of your harassment.
Hurt her? It's nothing like that. You know, Hunter, women are supposed to have a strong heart. Otherwise, how can you expect them to support their husband and children? I was only trying to teach her how to be a proper wife. Anyways, if she's going to start crying each time we have a little misunderstanding, I don't really want her as my daughter-in-law. She's really not sociable with me, and on top of that, she's really poor.
What are you saying? What gave you the idea that Maggie was poor? She probably has as much saved up as I do, maybe even more. She's very frugal and never wastes money on unnecessary things.
What? She has money. Then how come she never comes along when I invite her to go shopping?
Not everyone thinks it's all that exciting to go on weekly shopping sprees like you. And some people like Maggie are just wiser about how they spend their money. So she's not poor. In fact, she's very economical. She works hard and doesn't waste her money on just material goods. I think that's very respectable of her.
Are you kidding me? What's the point of working so hard if you're not going to spend that money? It's just going to keep sitting in the bank. You see, because she was poor growing up, she thinks she just needs to hold on to whatever money she has.
Why do you talk like we grew up very wealthy or something? It's not like our family is so much better off than hers. We just have the money left over from selling that property years ago. But that's not going to last forever. You realize that, don't you?
Of course. So that's why I'm just enjoying myself now while there's still enough left. Anyway, since you and Margaret are already together, then that's perfect. Why don't the two of you come to the restaurant now? I'm still here with my friends, so you should join us too. And since Margaret actually isn't poor, then I can finally introduce her to the ladies without feeling embarrassed.
Did you not hear what I said earlier? I told you, I no longer want to associate with you. Ever. I'm really embarrassed to be your son. You should probably go find yourself a replacement son.
Oh, stop it already. You're just joking, right?
No, I'm totally serious. Maggie and I are gonna go look at a new house now.
A new house?
Yes, there was an offer for me to be transferred to one of our other offices. It would have been a really big step forward in my career too. But I wasn't really on board with it because I was worried about leaving you and Dad behind. But you've actually given me the perfect reason to accept that offer now. I just informed my boss about my decision, and he wants to get things moving right away.
Wait, what do you mean? You've never said anything about any offer. And you need to move? Where is your new office?
Do you honestly think that I'm going to tell you? And there's no need, if we're not going to see each other ever again.
Hunter! This is a joke, right? Why are you doing this? If it's about Margaret, I only said those things and behaved that way because I wanted to help you. It was all for your benefit.
My benefit? You were just harassing her and bullying her all behind my back.
You're kidding, right? You're not seriously gonna cut me out of your life completely, are you? Or are you going to choose Margaret over me, your own mother? She grew up not even knowing who her father was. There's no way she was brought up properly. Hunter, you're going to regret this. You listen to what I say if you know what's best for you.
I've met Margaret's mother many times already. Compared to the way you are, she's a noble queen. I can't tell you how disappointed I am to be your son. I definitely regret calling you my mother all these years.
Wait, why don't we just talk this over like mature adults? I'll be right there.
Maggie and I won't be returning to that house for a while, so don't expect to find us when you get there. Like I said, there's no way I want to see you ever again.
Hunter, please, think about what you're saying. The money from the property sale, it's not going to last forever. What am I supposed to do when that runs out?
That's your problem, so figure it out yourself. I'd say it's just karma. Wait, or did you really think that I was going to help you out? Was that your intention, that as soon as the money ran out, you were going to come crying to me for help? Saying that you had no way of surviving so you can live with us?
Well, yeah. Isn't it pretty normal to expect that? I mean, isn't it the child's duty to take care of the parents when they get old? To give back for everything they provided while growing up?
I knew it. You're really something, you know? Despite all those terrible things you've been saying to Maggie, you still expect for us to take care of you in your old age. That's just ridiculous.
Give the phone back to Margaret. I'm sure she'll understand if I can explain my reasoning to her. So let me just talk to her, woman to woman.
Fine, if that's what you want. I'm gonna give the phone back to Maggie now.
Margaret, is that you? Please, you need to talk to Hunter. Tell him that this is all just a misunderstanding. It's not like I said all those things to you because I dislike you or anything. You know that, don't you?
No, I'm sorry. I don't think I understand what you mean.
because I've never bullied anyone like that before. No, I told you this isn't bullying. I was just trying to educate you. I see. I suppose you did teach me a lot of things. You see, I knew you'd understand. So do me a favor and ask Hunter to reconsider what he said. Otherwise, we won't be able to survive. We might starve to death. What was it? A 10-cent refund on each can or bottle? Remember? Excuse me. You know, if you really get desperate enough, you can go around collecting empty cans or bottles. Good luck with that.
Hey, I'm finally done with work. Man, it's been such a hectic week training the new employee that's taking over my position. I'm on my way home now.
I'm glad you're finally done. I know it was stressing you out. And Hunter, I'm really sorry. I know you rushed everything for my sake.
What are you talking about? Besides, I should be the one who's apologizing. I had no idea my mom had been getting in touch with you behind my back, and that she was causing you so much pain. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to notice sooner.
Do you remember the reason why Mom had to raise me on her own?
What? Yeah? You said that your father was killed in an accident.
Exactly. But he didn't die right after the accident. He lived for about 5.5 years afterwards.
Really? You never mentioned that.
I know, but he was paralyzed from the waist down, and he couldn't move on his own, so he needed a lot of care. And of course, he was in no shape to work. So my mom said that's why we didn't have much money when I was growing up.
I see. That must have been really tough.
Yeah, so I know that money doesn't buy happiness, and life isn't all about having money. But if something happens, having money or not can make all the difference. So she's always said that I should have enough saved up as an emergency fund, because you never know what could happen. I never told you any of this because it's not such an easy topic to bring up, and I didn't want you to get a bad impression, like I was expecting something bad to happen or anything. But I guess I might have been a bit too stingy sometimes. I'm sorry.
You don't need to be sorry. I'm just glad you finally told me everything. I don't want you to hold anything back from me. And Maggie, I want you to know that I'm really healthy.
Huh?
My job is in an office, so there's no risk of getting injured at work, and I spend most of my free time playing video games. In other words, I'm not much of a risk taker, so I'm just happy to be healthy and at peace every day.
I already know that, silly. Did you think I forgot or something?
And I'm a safe driver. I promise to always be a safe driver too. And you always cook such well-balanced meals for us.
Well, in that case, there's no reason not to live a long and healthy life.
Exactly. And I don't like being so wasteful either. So when we're both old and retired, let's use our savings and take an extravagant trip somewhere. And if we end up being poor because we end up spending too much on that trip, I don't think I'd even mind at all. I'm sure I'd still be really happy.
You're crazy, but that's a great plan. Then we'd both better live to be old and wrinkly together. I can't wait to take that trip with you.
Yep, that's a promise.
As for Linda, she tried to find our whereabouts by harassing Hunter's colleagues with constant phone calls to his office, and even stalking the premises of my former preschool. She really caused a lot of trouble left and right, but thanks to our supportive friends and colleagues, she was never able to determine where we were living. Apparently, she tried to adopt a more frugal lifestyle, but I'm sure it wasn't a change she was able to make overnight. Especially since she was such a spendthrift, she easily lost her self-control and kept going back to her old habits. As a result, she ended up having to borrow large sums of money from her friends, with no means of ever repaying them. So they all started to avoid her, and in the end, no one even wanted to see her anymore. She's struggling to pay back her debt right now, but she deserves every bit of it. And because of this incident, I had to leave my job as a preschool teacher. But her new life in a brand new place, it's going much better than anything we'd expected. And just last week, I gave birth to our first child, a beautiful and healthy baby boy. My mother, who was just as excited as Hunter and I, was also right there to celebrate my son's birth. Hope that one day I'm able to repay my mom for everything that she's taught me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to see more content.
Mrs. Jones, when are you moving out?
What? Mr. Sutton, now this was unexpected.
You living in this condo is an eyesore to us. We suggest you pack up and move out immediately.
Mr. Sutton, aren't you working for the management company? I think it's a bit inappropriate to send a text like that. I think you're being out of line.
What, a poor person telling me I'm out of line?
Huh?
We have a legit reason here.
You think I'm poor and that gives you enough reason to kick me out? Not only is it not a reason for me to move out, but I don't think you even have the right to tell me that.
Does that mean you don't notice how annoying you are to this real estate property?
Who? Me? I generally keep to myself.
Correct. A poor person like you living here is a liability to us. I suggest you move out before things get ugly.
Mistaking me for a poor resident and trying to kick me out is quite rude. You have absolutely no right to try and force me out of my home. I'm not allowing you to do such a thing.
I'm just saying the truth. You're poor. It hurts our business with people like you living here. This condo should be for people who are better off. They've earned their spot here by being successful in life. People like you give this condo a bad reputation.
What are you saying? That's crazy! Did someone tell you that, or did you come up with that pretentious idea on your own?
I can't reveal the source, but it's reliable information. So, I'm kicking you out.
You're saying the reason for kicking me out is because I look poor?
Hey lady, you don't look poor. You are poor. Yeah, and this place becomes run down with poor residents.
And you think somehow you have the power to do this?
Exactly. You poor people don't treat things properly, so you ruin them. That's why your unit is more run down than the other units with people who are better off living in them.
I think your imagination is running wild. I've never heard of a person being kicked out of their home just because someone thinks they're poor.
Look, I work for a major real estate company that manages this building, so what I'm saying is real. I'm going to evict you by the end of next month and bill you for repair costs.
You can't bill me for that. I have no obligation to pay such a thing.
Residents like you hurt our business. Pay for all the damages and move out immediately.
Mr. Sutton, did you contact me on your own? If so, you better talk to your boss and stop this nonsense.
I'm the one in charge of managing the condo, and I'm not tolerating anything of this sort. That's why I'm telling you to move out.
Go on, say whatever. Clearly nothing I say is going to change your mind. I'm not dealing with you anymore.
I'm sending an eviction notice and invoice for repairs. Pay and move out. Trust me, you don't want to find out what happens if you resist.
Don't send me any of those. Mr. Sutton, like I said, I think it's in your best interest to talk to your boss right now. You know it's not right to do this. Are you listening?
Mrs. Jones, how many times did I tell you poor people to move out?
I thought I made it clear that I'm not going anywhere.
You didn't look over the bill yet? I left it in your mailbox. When are you going to pay for repairs? Like I've told you, you don't have a choice in this matter. Pay what you owe and move out.
Oh, I got the bill all right. And looked into it. But like I said before, I'm not paying a cent. You're charging a lot of money for absolutely nothing.
What? You selfish old woman.
Excuse me?
You're just a poor person hanging on to this run-down condo for years. Still trying to live here even when you are asked to move out. What you're doing is honestly quite embarrassing. Just do as you're told and move out. Get your pathetic ass out of this condo now. You're the one who's going to look bad, not me.
You know, you don't make any sense. You want to kick me and my family out that bad?
Finally, it seems like you're getting it through that old dusty head of yours. It's only right to look down on you poor people. By the way, I'm planning on raising the rent for this condo. Not only do you not belong here, soon you won't be able to afford to even live here. You know you can't make that kind of decision on your own, Mr. Sutton. You don't know anything, you old woman. I have the liberty to do anything I decide. The owner of the condo even allowed it.
The owner? Really?
Of course. Have you forgotten that I work for the real estate company? You must be going senile. Surely I'm going to be in close contact with the owner. Poor people like you need to move out. It's your fault for being poor, and it's only right that you get treated like this.
Unbelievable.
You know, I'm amazed at your stubbornness as well. Poor people can't live in this condo. The owner personally told me I had permission to kick you out.
Are you sure about that?
Of course. How dare you question me?
Well then, we aren't going to move out. But I guess we just have to cancel the contract we have with your company.
Huh? What contract? You're making no sense. What are you saying? What do you mean, contract?
I'm the owner of this building. You don't mean you really didn't know, did you?
What? Owner? You're not the owner.
If you don't understand, you better check and see. That's why I kept telling you to ask your boss. You were trying to kick the owner of this condo out. Don't you think that's crazy?
Huh? What? You're the owner?
Exactly. Mr. Sutton, you're just an employee at the management company. Did you think you could kick me out? Everyone knows you don't have the right to kick me out. I'm just thinking you wanted the money for repairs more than kicking me out.
Wait a minute, Mrs. Jones. Are you really the owner? I can't seem to wrap my head around the idea.
I really don't care if you can't wrap your head around it or not. I didn't think a millennial employee working for a real estate company would even treat me this way. Poor people need to move out? That's so crazy. I own 15 other buildings as well. I am quite far from being poor like you claim I am.
What? Are you kidding?
Were you trying to label me as a poor person just because I've been living here for a long time? You gotta be kidding me. So, tell me exactly what this invoice is for.
Wait, please wait. I think I got it all wrong.
You certainly did. You actually couldn't have been more wrong. What were you going to do with the false invoice?
What do you mean false? It's an official invoice, can't you see? Never mind, you don't have to pay. I had no idea that you were the owner of the building. So it's actually my mistake. I admit that, so let's just put it all behind us. You can just throw that invoice away.
Did you think you could get away with this?
Huh?
You sent me a fake invoice. I'm the owner of this building, you know. Of course I know there are no plans for repairing anything here. What you did sounds to me a bit like you were trying to trick me out of money.
No, I wasn't. I was going to get approval from my boss later.
In other words, you haven't gotten it approved from your boss. And you certainly haven't notified me, the owner. So you've taken it upon yourself to create a false invoice without letting anyone know about it.
Yeah, I guess you can put it that way at this point.
Unbelievable. Are you aware that you committed a crime? What you've done is nothing short of an attempted scam. You tried to make me pay for repairs on a building I own that were completely unnecessary. You're a real con artist.
No need to get all hot about this. I said I was sorry. I didn't think it was such a big deal. Like I said, I was going to report it to my boss eventually. It was just a misunderstanding. Since you're the owner, I really don't have anything more to say. My apologies.
You don't think you're getting away with just an apology, do you? I will report this matter to your company.
You don't need to do that. Why would you bother? I don't think that's necessary. We can just settle things now.
You confronted me to pay for something totally uncalled for. You probably did the same thing to other residents as well. That reminds me, I've noticed more residents moving out and thought that to be pretty odd. I have a feeling that you're the reason for the residents moving out recently. Due to recent information coming to light, I think it's best to investigate further into this matter.
No, wait a minute. That's so unnecessary. I didn't do anything, I swear. What I did to you was the first time I tried something like that. I don't know what got into me.
You don't know what got into you? What kind of excuse is that? But if you say you didn't do anything, it shouldn't hurt if it's investigated, right? I'll have the appropriate people look into this matter. It should be nothing of your concern if you're really clean.
Oh, come on, let's not. Please don't. I really didn't do anything.
What you didn't do is follow your job like you were supposed to. But you sure did a whole lot of other things. I don't want to have to deal with you hereafter. So I'm planning to consign the management of my 15 other properties to a different company. I can't have a company that hires someone like you manage my real estate.
Huh? What do you mean?
It means I'm firing your company. Since you are in charge of the building, it gave me an opportunity to reassess the contract. I don't want to have a real estate company with an employee that disrespects poor people manage my properties.
If you cancel the contract for 15 buildings, that'll be so bad. Especially if I'm the reason for why you do it. You're just kidding, right? You wouldn't actually cancel the contract, would you?
I'm dead serious, young man. You better think very long about what led to this happening. You tried to wrongfully evict me and scam me out of my money. Those are both very serious crimes.
I'm so sorry. Let's please put it behind us. Why didn't you just tell me you were the owner? We could have avoided all of this. This would have never happened.
Now you're blaming me? Even if you didn't do this to me, you would have done this to some other residents. In a way, I'm happy it was me. Although, until we do the investigation, who knows if you've done something similar to the other residents.
I told you I didn't. Just drop it.
Sorry, I can't and I won't. In fact, I think I'll be getting the police involved. So use this opportunity and start your life over. After that, I contacted Mr. Sutton's boss. I reported everything that happened. When Mr. Sutton got called down to his boss's office, I heard he was crying like a baby and begging not to be fired. He didn't only lose all the properties he was managing for me, he immediately lost his job. No surprises there. It turned out I was right. He was scamming the other residents just like he tried to do to me. It came to light that he tricked 6 other residents to pay for unnecessary repairs and even made them leave their homes. I went to the police and pressed charges against Mr. Sutton. He was sued by the residents he tricked to get their money back, plus he got sued for damages from kicking them out of their homes. I sure hope he saved up that money he took from those poor people, because he's definitely going to need it. Especially since the money he has to pay is way more than the money he scammed from them. Since you reap what you sow, he's going to have to work hard to pay all this back. He's lucky that he didn't get thrown in jail for what he did. Although his life is pretty much totally ruined, and every waking second is now devoted to paying back his victims. He says he has no hope for the future. People who commit crime should have to pay for what they did. With this incident, the management company apologized and settled with me for the trouble they put me through. I was also able to make a contract with better conditions and find a more reputable company to manage my property. By putting a criminal away, good things are happening for me. I'm proud that I could make this situation right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button.